Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany Reacts Show. And on this show we talk all things movies and movie news. We actually have a lot of movie news to cover. Not just the Joker 2 trailer, but in case you guys didn't know, this week is actually CinemaCon. CinemaCon is, I would describe it as like Comic-Con, but for theater exhibitors and studios. So basically what they do once a year, there's this big convention that goes on where studios show off their biggest movies to exhibitors, to movie theaters, to convince movie theaters to house their movies. And CinemaCon has become a really big deal in recent years just because there's been so much new movie news that drops during this period, and this week was no different. So we're going to go over all the stuff that has been coming out at CinemaCon. We've had some new trailers, not stuff that we can see because unfortunately a lot of the stuff that debuts at CinemaCon you can only see at CinemaCon. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about, just from news, reactions to the trailers, and stuff like that. Also, Disney's presentation at CinemaCon is happening right now. So, I was actually at the very end of this live stream, I was just going to refresh discussing film and see if there was any new big updates that happened in Disney's panel, just because it's happening right now. So, a lot of this news is new, it's ongoing, it's very fresh. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. We're also going to talk about Margot Robbie producing a Monopoly movie? Question mark. It seems like she's really doubling down on doing lots of live action adaptation of games, which is interesting. We'll see how that works for her. We're also going to talk about RDJ being back as Iron Man. It's not official or anything, but he is saying that he wouldn't be, I guess, opposed to returning as Iron Man. It's always in his DNA, so we're going to talk about that. So like I said, we have a lot to go over. I do want to say hi to everyone first, though. So hi, Natanya. Hi, Pretty Princess. Hi, Check. Hi, Danny. Hi, Madonna. Hi, DeBoy. Hi, Nate. Hi, CD Woods. Hi, Shelly Lee. Hi, DeBoy. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ajamin. Hi, Sunset Draws. And thank you to each and every one of you who comes to my show every day. I deeply, deeply appreciate it, because without you guys who are here right now, I would literally have no one to talk to. So, you guys are what enabled me to even be able to do this show. Because if you guys didn't show up, then like I'd just be talking to myself. So, thank you for actually showing up to the show and supporting the channel. I really deeply appreciate it. Hi Arvin, thank you for coming as well. Hi Desi. Alright, so let's just jump straight into it. I want to get into some of the box office news first, just to recap some things. So if you remember, Monkey Man actually debuted last week. Monkey Man stars Dev Patel. This was his, I believe it was self-produced. It was very much a movie that he made himself, to just try to get his name out there, try to get some work done. And it did kind of okay. It did 10.1 million opening weekend, which is okay. It could have been a lot better, but for an original movie, I guess that's fine. I think the budget's also pretty small, so it's okay. I just wish it'd done a little better because I really like Dev Patel. But Godzilla vs. Kong, or Godzilla x Kong, that's still doing really well. That made 31.7 million in its second weekend. So, even though those movies are not for me, clearly they are for a very large audience, because there is a very large audience out there that loves monster movies, because this movie's actually doing fine. Ghostbusters is actually falling, I think, quite a bit. I don't think the Ghostbusters movie is doing as well as they expected. Honestly, I don't think that movie was all that great, so I'm not surprised. First Omen's doing okay for a horror movie, that's fine. But overall, the box office is actually down about 57% this week compared to last year when they had the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, it's a little bit unfair of a comparison because the Mario Bros. Movie was so big, but I still think it's important to talk about because I do think the first quarter of this year has been really weak when it comes to the box office. It's not just me, I've seen other people mention it, sorry. I'm actually under the weather, so if I start like coughing and just sneezing and stuff like that, or if I sound stuffy, I apologize. I am quite sick today actually. But I decided I was still going to come in for a stream because I like talking to you guys. But anyway, so the box office is not doing great overall. We really need some big hits to like jump some life into this. just for the health of the industry. So the big movies I think that will help. Obviously Deadpool, I still think that'll do well enough to help the box office. Despicable Me will do well. I still think the summer actually has some pretty big hits that could help the box office. Now, if you want to know how well I actually think a lot of these summer movies are going to do, you should check out my live stream that I did on Sunday, where I actually broke down my top 10, or what I think is going to be the top 10 summer movies of the year, just based on box office. So if you want to see how I would rank the top 10, or what I think will be the top 10 movies of the summer, make sure you go check out that live stream. Again, I am sick, so I'm sorry if I sound really gross and stuffy. Anyway, moving on though. Did you guys actually see Monkey Man, or is any of this box office news surprising to you guys? Thoughts? Alexander Padilla says you're gonna watch Monkey Man on streaming. Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about seeing Monkey Man in person in theaters, but then I was like, the reviews were so mixed and so-so, I was like, I feel like this is a streaming movie. I kind of became like you guys, where I was like, I can wait. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I hope I feel better too, because I don't like being sick. Oh, and Natanya just posted the link in the chat if you guys want to see the podcast where we talk about the top 10 summer box office. So thank you. Am I going to review Abigail? I don't really cover horror movies that much. Maybe, but it's a very weak maybe. I'll have to really look into it. Oh, that's super. You saw Monkey Man. Well, did you like it? I thought the trailer looked good, but then the reviews were so kind of medium that I was just like, I think I'll wait for streaming. Okay, Nate Lawrence, you liked Monkey Man, so that's someone who liked it. Oh my gosh, Du Bois says, if not for these streams, I wouldn't even know what Monkey Man was. Yeah, it's definitely a small movie with a small audience, that's for sure. I don't think they really advertised it a whole lot, so I'm glad I could let you guys know about it. So let's just move on to entertainment news, because we have a lot to talk about, and I want to talk about this Joker trailer. So, Joker! Oh my gosh, this trailer just changed my entire mind on this movie. I love this trailer. This might be my favorite trailer I've seen in a minute. I think that cutting a trailer, editing a trailer, is an art form all in itself, and I feel like the art of trailers has been kind of missing. Like, they're just kind of giving you a bunch of noise and information, but like, I just feel like a lot of trailers recently haven't been that captivating. This trailer, this got me immediately. This is a great trailer. I was telling you guys just a few months ago that I was worried about this film because it's a musical, because they added Lady Gaga, and there's a whole new like vibe to this movie compared to the first one, or at least I thought there was going to be. And so I was like, I don't know if the second is going to make as much as the first. I really wasn't sure. But after this trailer and seeing the hype that was generated from this trailer and the interest that's in this trailer, I am now thinking this movie can still make $1 billion like the first one. Because I actually think this movie looks even better than the first one, in my personal opinion. That's how good I thought this trailer was. Before I get into breaking down this trailer, what did you guys think of it? Did it change your mind about this movie? Thoughts on the trailer at all? Okay, Alexander, you're actually going to see it in theaters and on IMAX. See, you guys don't always see things in theaters. So when I hear you guys say you're actually going to see something in theaters, I know something's going to be a hit, because you guys are a very picky audience. Vincent says, this movie may have a romance again. I miss romance from movies, especially from Disney. Yeah, I mean, they are going into the romance story between Harley and Joker. It's not a very happy story from what I know, so I'm sure there's going to be a twist in here somehow. But yeah, there's a nice romance story. We'll see how actually nice it is at the end. I have a feeling it's not going to be like a picture-perfect romance story, because Harley and Joker has never been that. Shelley Lee thought it looks really good. Rhea Rue, you're going to see it on streaming? What? Come on. What do you guys see in theaters? Okay, Danny, the trailer won you over. That's great. Yes, the cinematography, Arvin. The cinematography looks amazing. I totally agree. So let's just dive into the trailer, because there's a lot to go over. Firstly, one of the things I do want to point out is the cinematography. I think it looks gorgeous. I think it still looks like the first movie, so tonally, or at least aesthetically, it looks like the first movie, so it's not too different from the first one, even though it's a musical. We see the Joker here. He's in Arkham Asylum. He's getting escorted. Don't know where he's going. And then he sees the umbrellas change color. And I'm wondering if he's going to be, like, hallucinating a lot in this. I think we can't entirely trust everything we see in this trailer. Because I think, why am I drawing a blank? Can someone in the chat let me know Joker's real name? I'm drawing a blank right now. But I feel like we can't fully trust everything we see in this trailer because I think he's hallucinating a lot. I think he's quite delusional. And I think this is one sign here with him seeing these umbrellas change colors. I think we're going to see him have a lot of psychotic breaks where, like, we'll see something happen, but then we'll realize it never happened at all. I think we're going to see that in this movie quite a bit. And I love those kinds of movies. Like, love those kinds of movies. If you can set up a movie where you watch a character's journey from one perspective, and then at the very end you show another character's perspective, and everything's entirely different. I love that setup. I love it so much. The movie 500 Days of Summer is like that. I love that movie for that reason. What else? There's another movie I was going to say. I don't know. But I love those kinds of movies. They're always great. So the fact that I'm seeing a little elements of that here is getting me very excited. Arthur, thank you. I was thinking something completely different. Arthur, thank you so much. That Super says, I'm not too worried about Harley. Gaga Harley seems very different from Margot Harley. I have to say, I think Gaga's Harley looks fantastic. Sorry. I think she looks really, really good. I think this looks like the perfect role for Lady Gaga. Like she was just born for this role. I think she looks like she fits this role even more than her previous roles. Just because it's kind of mopey and kind of dark and very camp, and it's a musical, so it's all within Lady Gaga's wheelhouse. I love this shot here where, of course, you see her, you know,
I haven't done anything with my life like you
do
have.
The gunshot thing. I saw someone on Twitter point this out, but I used to be a Tumblr girly back in the day, and I feel like on Tumblr 10 years ago, this would have been all over my Tumblr page. This shot right here. It's giving the same angsty energy as, like, normal people scare me. You know that quote from American Horror Story that everyone had, like, t-shirts of and stuff like that? If you know what I'm talking about at all, it's giving me that same, like, Tumblr emo vibe. But I'm really here for it because I really like it. Every frame in this movie just looks really gorgeous. And I think Lady Gaga looks gorgeous in it, too. So everything looks really good to me. Danny thinks Gaga is a goddess. Alright, Anise says this movie reminds me of the Harleen 2019 comic. Oh, well, I don't know if it's good or not, but I hope so. Oh yeah, Beautiful Mind, Alexander Padilla. That's another one where you realize that from another perspective that things were different the whole time. That's a good example. I feel like that's going to be the case with this movie. Yes, I think Lady Gaga is a pretty good actress, so I think she can pull this off. I gotta turn this off. And I just like how we get lots of very striking imagery, like the silhouette here with the one light. I just think it looks gorgeous, looks beautiful. Again, they're kind of hiding that it's a musical a little bit, like they sort of show that he's obviously hunched over singing something, but they don't really, like, have any long extended sequence in this trailer of people singing. So I do think that they're trying to hide the fact that it's a musical a little bit. Just a little bit. And we all saw how the audience reacted to Mean Girls when they hid the fact that that was a musical. So I hope that they don't continue doing that throughout the entire ad campaign. I hope by the second trailer they're actually singing, because I think it needs to be made explicitly clear to people who do not follow movie news that this is a musical. Because I don't think that this trailer makes it explicitly clear enough. Kichuchi says, I feel like you just can't replace Margot's Brava performance as Harley. Probably the only way I'll be able to enjoy the movie is if I preserve Gaga's Harley as just another character. I mean, Margot's Harley has a lot of fans, and it sounds like you're one of them. I myself am a Margot Harley fan. In fact, I'm in the minority, and then I actually really liked the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Why did I remember that long tag but not Birds of Prey? That's weird. But anyway, I actually really liked that movie. Like, I know not everyone did, but I actually really liked it. So I like her Harley as well, but I think there's so many different Batmans, there's so many different Supermans. So far there's only 2 live-action Harleys. So I feel like it shouldn't be that big of a deal that we're recasting, just because they do that with every major popular superhero. And the Harley has gotten popular enough that they're probably going to keep recasting her, so I don't think Lady Gaga is even going to be the last. I think within 10 years, we'll probably have another live-action Harley. Maybe even sooner than that. But anyway, getting back to this. So then they're at the theater, they're watching something, it seems like they're bonding, it's going very nice. And then she's like, you want to get out of here? And then it cuts away to with them being on top of this rooftop, and it's like a nice dreamy atmosphere. He's got like the Joker makeup on, so he's not Arthur, he's the Joker here. This shot really reminded me of Mulan Rouge. Because there's a whole sequence in Mulan Rouge where they're dancing on top of a rooftop with a giant moon in the background, and it's supposed to be a dream sequence. It's looking like the exact same thing as Mulan Rouge. I wouldn't even be surprised, given the fact that Todd Phillips got so much inspiration from Taxi Driver, I think it was, for the first Joker film. I would not be surprised if he took inspiration from other musicals for this one, including Mulan Rouge, because I just feel like there's too much of an influence from that movie to ignore. But anyway, so we see, again, that's another illusion. They weren't actually on top of that roof. I think we're at another delusion of his. That's why I said I don't think we can totally buy everything we see in this trailer. Some of it's definitely fake. And then we see them dancing in real life. And then he's running from another Joker. I don't know what that's about. It seems like he's got a lot of copycats and they're not really, I don't know, liking him that much or something. Anyway, I just find that this entire trailer is gorgeous. I like how it's edited and put together. For some reason he's on the ground. Oh, and then we get to see Lady Gaga in the Harley Quinn outfit, and she looks absolutely incredible. I love, 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 love this outfit. I even love how she walks up the stairs. If you just look at the swagger she has as she walks up the stairs, like she's like, it got the sway in her shoulders, like she's super confident. I just love it. I really love it. I think she looks fantastic. I love the costume. I love it a lot. What do you guys think about the trailer so far, and everything we've gone over? Okay, Alexander, you agree with me. Birds of Prey was good. I went with some friends to go see that movie, and I was the only one that liked it. Everyone else was like, oh, that was trash, and I was like, but I liked it. But that's okay. Swooner Productions says, the reason why no one liked Birds of Prey is mostly because the male gaze is gone, because it was directed by a woman. I mean, a lot of women didn't like it either, though. I don't think that's it, to be honest. Sloppy Drunk says, I really like Joker, but when I saw the trailer for the second one, it was good, but I'm not sure about Lady Gaga. Oh, so you're not convinced by Lady Gaga yet? Even with her looking this good in the trailer, you're still not convinced? I think she looks awesome. Miss Player says, I don't know, casting some singer with no previous acting experience seems like a red flag. She definitely has acting experience. She's been in several movies and shows at this point, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Miss Player, because she definitely does have acting experience. I would say at this point in Lady Gaga's career, she's more of an actress than she is a singer, just because she focuses more of her attention on acting than singing. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I think she's going to be great. As Jessica H. says, a star is born. I think this one will probably be even bigger for her than A Star is Born. I actually think this will do really well. And then they're putting makeup on each other. That's so sweet. And then I love this shot of them doing that like famous kick that he does on the stairs in the first one. I just like that Lady Gaga does it just like he does it. She does it kind of awkwardly. Also, it looks like she's pregnant. I'm definitely sure that she's pregnant in this shot. So, interesting. Don't know how that's going to manifest in this movie, because how is Arthur going to handle having a kid? Arthur is not a guy I would say needs to be a father. Not at all. So that's going to be interesting. Anise says, Gaga studied theater first. She's always wanted to act. Exactly. She's been interested in acting for a long time. And then we see him in this white suit. I love that whenever Arthur is the Joker, he's obviously a lot more confident. And then whenever he's just Arthur, he's obviously a lot more weak and nervous. I think the juxtaposition between the two is really cool. And then they're getting married, it seems like, because she's like dancing on this aisle up to the altar. So they're having a kid, they're getting married. It seems like this relationship is going very quickly. Again, very gorgeous. I just love all of these shots. I think it's beautiful. And then we got some chaos. She's swiping some blood on her face, so it seems like Harley's getting really lost in all this chaos, and she's really liking it. Again, I just think Lady Gaga looks really good in this, so I'm happy that she's Harley. But then we get this shot. Oh my god, this shot. So, this shot. So, Harley draws lipstick on the mirror, because she's talking to him at the jail. She draws a little smiley face, like that. And then Arthur lines up with the smiley face. I mean, that's a beautiful shot. Gorgeous shot. I know a lot of people have already pointed this out, but the fact that it just lines up so perfectly. That's art, man. That is cinema. That is so beautiful. This is what I mean when I say this trailer just completely won me over. Like, entirely won me over. I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. But this trailer won me over hard. This is one of my favorite trailers I've seen in a minute. Just because it just really sells me on it. I don't know, it just spoke to me. But what do you guys think of this trailer? What do you think of this ending shot? What do you think of Joker 2? Are you planning to see it in theaters? Is it house lab lipstick? I'm sure it's not, but that would be really funny. João Pedro says the relationship has a lot of potential for good drama. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's going to be lots of drama between the relationship. The trailer makes it seem like everything's all hunky-dory between them, but you can just tell it's not. Okay, Danny thinks Pheonix is daddy. Interesting. Yes, it is a musical, Alika. I love musicals, so I don't care, but I know some people will. Okay, Shelley Lee, you're going to see opening night. That's great. I'm definitely going to see opening night. I haven't really even been seeing a lot of movies on Thursday night ever since I moved my live stream off of Friday. I actually might see this on Thursday. That's how excited I am now. That's how much this trailer won me over. But anyway, I'm not the only one that this trailer won over. Apparently, it did really, really well. It earned 167 million views in just 24 hours. Becoming Warner Brothers' biggest trailer since Barbie. So I think this movie's going to be huge. I think it could make another $1 billion like the first one. I don't think the musical aspect is going to hurt it. At least I hope it doesn't. I just think the movie might be strong enough that it'll probably be successful regardless. So fingers crossed, because I think this movie could do really well. What do you think the songs will sound like? Well, it's a jukebox musical, and speaking of songs, Todd Phillips did say that Joker is a movie where the music is an essential element, but doesn't veer too far from the first film. He says that, but then he also says that... Hold on, where is it? Oh no, where'd it go? I had a slide here that said that there are apparently, like... Oh no, that was for another musical, never mind. I was thinking about the Michael Jackson musical. But there's going to be a lot of songs in it. I think I saw a comment that said that Lady Gaga is going to be writing some songs too. I think it's going to be very jazzy. I think it's going to be very soft. I don't think it's going to be like a lot of pop music or anything like that. I think expect a lot of jazz and like 90s rock music. That's what I would probably guess is what we're going to hear in this. But anyway. So it's also going to be released in IMAX 70mm. So they're really giving this film the prestige treatment. They're really treating it like it's a Dune or an Avatar. Like, they're really going all out for this. So I think Warner Brothers has a lot of faith in it. I think it looks really good. So we'll see. Okay, Arvin says it'll have 15 songs and 2 of them are original. 15 songs is actually not that bad. Compared to the Michael Jackson musical, which we will talk about, that one has 30. 15 is fine. I think 15, people can handle 15 songs. Like, you'll be fine, you'll live. Anyway, so a live-action Monopoly movie will be produced by Margot Robbie. Now, she seems to be, after Barbie, like, trying to adapt and produce a lot of, I would say Barbie-ish kind of movies, because she's also, sorry, if you guys remember, she's also doing the Sims movie. So now she's producing the Sims and Monopoly. I think that she's just trying to replicate Barbie's success, because I feel like both of these movies could be similar, especially the Sims, with the whole idea that they're in a simulated environment and they realize maybe something's going wrong. Maybe that there's a real world. I don't know if that's the path that they're going to go down with The Sims, but it sounds like the most obvious path to do with it. The Monopoly movie, again, is based off of a game, a toy. So it just seems like she's like, oh yeah, Barbie did really well for me. Let me just go find other games and toys that I can turn into movies, because that's what it seems like she's doing. I mean, on one hand, can you really blame her? Because I think she made like $50 million off of Barbie. 50? So, if I made $50 million off of one movie, you bet I'd be trying to find like 2, 3, 4, 5 other movies that are exactly like it. So on one hand, I respect the hustle. On the other hand, I do feel like Margot before Barbie was like focused on more prestige kind of movies, and now it seems like she's going hardcore into commercial. So I feel like she's definitely pivoting now, and she's like, maybe she doesn't care about getting an Oscar as badly as she seemed like she was, and maybe she's more interested in box office success now that she's achieved it. I don't know. I just feel like this is a very different path for her than what she was doing pre-Barbie, so I think Barbie maybe have just changed everything for her. But what do you guys think about these movies? Do you think that they'll be good? Are you happy that this is what Margot's spending her time doing? What do you guys think? Danny says a Candyland movie would be interesting. I feel like a Candyland movie is bound to happen at this point. Think of any board game and it's getting a movie. Oh yeah, she is riding that Mattel gravy train so hard, and again, I don't blame her. Alexander Padilla says, but these movies are probably not going to be Barbie-level performance. I don't know, The Sims is super popular. Really, both The Sims and the Monopoly are such, like, household names that I feel like they could be really popular, especially The Sims. I don't know, I feel like there is potential to be Barbie-level big here. Du Bois says, this whole toys in the real world thing seems like a really gimmicky trend that could burn out super quickly. Totally agree, which is why I hope she at least takes these in a slightly different direction, so it's not exactly the same as Barbie. Because I fear, particularly for the Sims movie, that it could just be like a rehash of Barbie. I just hope that she's not doing that. I still think the Sims movie could be really good. In fact, I've been wanting a Sims movie for a while as a big Sims fan myself. But I'm just worried that it might be too similar to Barbie. That's my only thing. Ryu agrees with me. I feel like a Sims movie would be okay, but you don't know about Monopoly. I mean, there's a lot that you could do with Monopoly. Sorry. I don't know. I feel like you could go any direction there. I have no idea. But the fact that she's also doing Sims makes me feel like it's probably going to be a much more like lighthearted family thing. So we'll see. I do like her as a producer, so I think she has good instincts as a business person. So you know what? I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm still gonna be very excited for these movies because they could be good. They could be good. Desi B says if they don't include Simlish, scrap it. You know what I hope they do with The Sims? You guys know how in Avatar 2 they start off the movie in Na'vi, but then they quickly transition into English? I hope they do that with The Sims, where it starts off everyone is actually speaking Simlish, but what we hear is English. I really hope that they do that, because you're right, they need Simlish. Heck, get Katy Perry back to do an entire soundtrack in Simlish. That'd be so funny. Hi Josh. The Sims would be like the Matrix with users trapped in a simulation. I mean, it could be a horror film. I've been saying I feel like The Sims could be a horror film. Imagine if things around you just suddenly started missing, or things started changing around you and you didn't know what was going on. That sounds terrifying to me. So I kind of hope that they lean into the horror direction a little bit, just because I think that'd be fascinating. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. So, we're not getting a Jon Snow series, according to Kit Harington, who says that it's apparently off the table because they couldn't find the right story to tell. Now, they are working on Game of Thrones spin-off series. They're working on one about, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's another one based on another Targaryen member. They really like focusing on the Targaryens, probably because they're the most interesting family, because they have dragons. But they were also considering this Jon Snow series. But it seems like it's no longer happening because they couldn't find a right story. And while I'm very happy that they're not just going to force a series, because I feel like a Kit Harington Jon Snow series could do really well. So the fact that they're not going forward with it because they couldn't find a good story tells me that they're still focused more on quality over quantity, which I was a little bit worried about, hearing the fact that they wanted to do so many spin-offs of Game of Thrones. But the fact that they're willing to say no to a Jon Snow series, which totally would have been a big hit, tells me that they're still worried more about quality over anything. So, on one hand, this makes me really happy, but on the other hand, I'm still upset, because I'm like, I kind of wanted to know what happened to his character. I feel like Game of Thrones had such a bad ending that I feel like we need maybe just a mini, after show, or maybe just a movie, I don't know. Just kind of wrapping things up again, but better. And this could have been it. So I was hoping that's what the Jon Snow series was going to be. But it seems like we're not getting it. But what do you guys think about this? Are you upset about this? Or you don't care, you don't watch Game of Thrones? What do you think? Shavario says, will the Sims catch on fire when cooking? Yes, this is the kind of stuff I want to happen in the Sims movie. I want very specific Sims things to happen like that. Like putting your baby on the floor while your house is on fire. I want stuff like that. Oh, Alexander! You said Kit Harington can't act anyway? I think he can act. He can act a little bit. He can at least act as Jon Snow. I think he's good in that role. I don't know about other roles, but I think he's good at least as Jon Snow. Josh Loves Movie says Kit Harington is cursed. First he's pulled out a blade, then Eternals 2 isn't working. Now his GOT spin-off got scrapped. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of the actors post Game of Thrones, their careers are kind of a mess, unfortunately for them. I know, unfortunately, because I think a lot of them are really talented. I love Emilia Clarke. Emilia Clarke is probably, I think Emilia Clarke is probably one of my favorite actresses working today. I really love her a lot. I think she's very personable. I love her on screen. She's actually in one of my all-time favorite movies, which is called Me Before You. Love that movie. She's in it. I think she's great in it. But she also has had a lot of really bad luck. I mean, she got into the MCU for crying out loud. But it had to be for freaking Secret Invasion, which nobody liked. And then she got into Star Wars, but she was in Solo, which is the only Star Wars movie to flop. So yeah, these Game of Thrones actors, they're having a tough time actually having a career after the show. So I do feel bad for them. Noah says the whole GOT cast is cursed. Maybe that would suck for them. Doesn't that usually happen, though, when you have, a really big hit popular show, that usually, the actors can't progress past it? I feel like that happens to a lot of actors, because they just get so typecast in one role. I think that's pretty common, unfortunately, but I was hoping that they could buck the trend, but it doesn't seem like it. Oh well. Moving on. So Robert Downey Jr. says that he would happily return to the MCU after winning his first Oscar. He said the role is part of his DNA. In fact, the whole quote, he said that happily, if he would return to Iron Man, he would say that he would do so happily. It's too integral a part of my DNA. That role chose me. And look, I'll always say never, ever bet against Kevin Feige. So, I like that he says that role chose me. I like that he's not putting down the role at all, that he's not, like, ashamed of that role. What I was a little worried about during this Oscar season was that he was so focused on being seen as the serious actor again, that he was just gonna start, like, poo-pooing on Iron Man and Marvel and being like, oh yeah, those movies were child's play. I'm so glad to be making serious cinema now. But he didn't do that. For the most part, he was actually very kind about his experience in Marvel, and he didn't mind people bringing it up. In fact, on the red carpet, I saw that he even did the little Iron Man pose on the red carpet. So he wouldn't do that if he felt like if he was past Iron Man. So it's nice that he still feels connected to this role. And would I like to see him back as Iron Man? Heck yes, I would. But under many conditions. Because I always felt like Iron Man was coming back regardless. I never felt like he was going to be gone forever. But I did think that we would at least have a lot longer of a wait than we already have to see him again. I feel like it's way too soon to see him again. Endgame was only 5 years ago. I do not want to already hear rumors about RDJ coming back. It's way too soon. I feel like there needs to be a longer absence with him in the MCU so that fans can miss him again. So his death feels earned and it doesn't feel cheap when he's returning. Because I feel like if he returns too quickly, then it kind of just undoes everything that happened in Endgame. He had such a perfect ending. I wouldn't want to ruin that if I was him. So I'm happy that he's coming back, and I expected it, but I do feel like it's maybe entirely too soon. But what do you guys think? Do you want him back? Do you think it's too soon like I do? What do you think? Yes, the role did save his life, so I'm glad that he's still very appreciative of it. Miss Player says, I feel like them attempting to bring back Iron Man in the MCU feels like a desperate attempt to salvage the current state of the franchise. Correct. Especially if they bring him back this soon. It definitely feels like a desperate move, in my opinion. Jojo says, not gonna lie, I very much miss his role as Iron Man. I do too. I mean, I do think that the MCU is missing him. I think that they're missing a force like him. But I still think it's too soon for him to come back. Du Bois says, to be blunt, I hope he doesn't come back. Tony got too much of a good, strong send-off to get psyched back in. Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't want him to come back too soon. Because I feel like that death needs to be earned with a longer period of time. But then again, if he comes back and say Secret Wars, that's not coming out until, like, what, 2027, 2028? So that at that point, it will have been almost 10 years since Endgame. So maybe that's what he's thinking? But if that's true, why announce this now? No, why not tease this closer to Secret Wars? I don't know. I still think it's too early. Shelley Lee says, you remember that he's 60, right? He doesn't have to do anything. Towards the end of his run as Iron Man, all he had to do was show up in a green suit onesie and spout some lines. If he doesn't want to have to do any stunts, they're going to make sure he doesn't have to do any stunts. I don't think his age is a problem at all, because they will work around it. The Lion Dog Show says, I'd rather see new characters like the X-Men. Okay, so you'd rather see new characters than go back to old ones. Well, I do feel like if they're trying to focus on the X-Men, I'd rather just focus on the X-Men. But if that's still going to be far off, then maybe, yeah, just bring back Iron Man for like one movie, maybe just for Secret Wars, and that's it. But you're right, I wouldn't want to focus on the X-Men and Iron Man at the same time, because I feel like if you're going to do the X-Men, just focus on the X-Men. You don't need Iron Man 2. If he does come back, I really don't want him to come back for, like, multiple movies. I want him just to come back for, like, Secret Wars, and that's it. I don't want him to be a mainstay in the rest of the saga, because I feel like we do need to focus on the new characters eventually. You're right. Oh no, CD Woods, I'm sorry. Even when I don't monetize my live streams, you guys still get ads, apparently. I've tested it out, and you guys, it doesn't matter. YouTube will show you ads. Anyway, I'm still looking forward to it, but yeah, I agree. It's too soon. Way too soon. So, now let's get into the CineCon discussions. Like I said, this is a big convention that happens every year between the movie theaters and the studios. The studios show off all of their upcoming movies to the movie theaters so that the movie theaters will actually want to show these movies. So that means we get a lot of new news. They like to show a lot of new footage. Sometimes we don't get to see it. Actually, most of the time we don't get to see it. But we do get a lot of reactions from people who have seen it. So we're going to talk about all the news and stuff that's come out of CinemaCon so far this week. Firstly, we started with the Lionsgate panel. And part of the Lionsgate panel, they showed the first trailer for the Michael Jackson biopic. Now, they didn't release this trailer online, so we just got some descriptions and reviews of it. But according to someone who has seen it, this is what was in the teaser. So apparently the trailer directly confirms that this biopic will address the controversy of Jackson's career. Also, Michael Jackson is then shown in the late stages of his career after one of his accidents, with visible pale skin, long curly hair, a black fedora, face mask, and sunglasses getting flanked by security. He's walking towards a car while a crazy crowd of rabid fans and paparazzi scream to get a photo, with some people even jumping on his car to get a glimpse of him. Then there's a glimpse of Michael with his face wrapped up in gauze on a stretcher being led into a hospital, assuming that this is the big Pepsi commercial incident. So it sounds like this movie actually goes through different phases of his career. I thought that this movie was just going to focus on Michael Jackson in the 80s and that was it. But it does sound like they actually go out throughout his entire life, from when he's a kid to even when he's an adult and his vitiligo takes over and he became white. Like, it sounds like they're doing it all, which is very interesting because I really thought they were just going to focus on, like, Michael in the 80s. But no, they're doing everything. And they're even addressing his controversy, which I think is interesting. Now, this movie will apparently have 30 songs. This is the movie that I was thinking of earlier when I was thinking Joker was going to have 30 songs, but no, it's the Michael movie that has 30 songs. That is a lot of songs, but people love Michael Jackson music. So if people can listen to 30 songs of any one person in one movie, I think it's going to be Michael Jackson. So that is a lot of songs, but at least the music is good. Now, I think this movie could be really successful. I think this movie could be a giant hit just because Michael Jackson was really huge. He's still, I think a lot of the younger generation get into him as well. So he has multi-generational appeal. His music is very popular. I think this movie could be like the only biopic to rival Bohemian Rhapsody. Because there's been a lot of biopics to come out since Bohemian Rhapsody, but none of them have done nearly as well. I think this is the first biopic to come out since then that might actually make about the same or more, which would mean it could make $1 billion, because Bohemian Rhapsody almost made $1 billion. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Michael Jackson movie will do well? Are you surprised that they're covering so many stages of his career and it's not just like one tiny era? What do you guys think about this? Are you looking forward to this movie? Why or why not? Josh says, I think Michael could be the biggest hit biopic since Bohemian Rhapsody. Yep, I definitely think it can, for sure. I have seen the Amy Winehouse biopic trailer. I'll talk about the Amy Winehouse movie later. I'll probably review it just because, yeah, it's been getting a lot of bad buzz on the internet just because people think she's miscast. I do think Amy's miscast, but you know what? Maybe the movie's still good. We'll see. But I'll probably review that one. Red Banana Green says, is this a movie or a series? 30 songs? No, it's a movie. It's a movie with 30 songs, which means it's probably just going to be non-stop music the whole time. Another Michael Jackson movie. Is there another one? I didn't know. It's probably going to be rated PG-13, Alexander. Oh, interesting. Shelly Lee says, if his family hates it, then I'm in. Well, his family is behind it. In fact, I think it's his nephew that's actually playing him in the movie. So his family is behind it. I don't think they'll hate it. They're the ones making it. So sorry, Shelly Lee. Hate to burst your bubble there. Minnie says, oh, Madonna's plastic face says, thank you for the super chat. A Madonna biopic would do really well. She almost had a biopic. In fact, she was going to direct her own biopic. She had a bunch of actresses go through a boot camp, including like Florence Pugh. I think it was Julia Gardner as well that actually got the role. She made these girls go through like an intense boot camp to play her, or for the chance to play her. And then she finally chose one with Julia Gardner, and then she suddenly decided that she didn't want to do the biopic anymore. So all those girls who went through that boot camp did it for nothing, basically. I kind of felt bad for them a little bit. There was going to be a Madonna biopic, but she changed her mind. So maybe there will be one in the future, but I think Madonna really wants to make it herself. So I think either Madonna's going to make it, or it might have to be made posthumously. I think that's the only way that movie's going to be made. Okay, Nate's very excited for it. All right. Danny thinks the Selena biopic could be up there with Bohemian Rhapsody. Or the Selena biopic that already came out. I did like the Selena biopic. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it is a good movie. I did watch the Bob Marley biopic too. That one was not good. I hope this one is a lot better than that Bob Marley movie. Dee Dee says, I bet the Michael Jackson biopic will be awesome. Not all of his family members are behind it. Oh, okay. His kids are behind it, but his brothers have a lot of negative things to say. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, thank you, Dee Dee. So, seems like some of the family is into it, but some of the family is not. Well, it doesn't sound like anyone in that family ever really was on the same page, so that doesn't surprise me. But I'm still looking forward to this movie. I think it sounds good. Looking forward to it. Alright, so Keanu Reeves returns as John Wick in Ballerina. So if you guys didn't know, there's actually a spin-off movie of the John Wick series called Ballerina. It stars Ana de Armas, who I really like. And apparently they showed the first trailer at CineCon. Which apparently the trailer included a ton of action sequences. We don't really have much description other than that, but I don't know how this is going to do. At least he's in the movie. If Keanu Reeves wasn't even in the movie, I would say this movie's probably going to flop. But with the fact that John Wick will at least be in it, maybe the Ballerina will do well. I don't know. I really like Ana de Armas. I think she's a great actress. I loved her in Knives Out. I loved that movie a lot, and she's a big reason why. So I hope this movie does well. The fact that he's in it just gives me a lot of hope for it. So, yeah. Are you guys looking forward to this Ballerina movie, or do you not care at all? I did not, Minnie. I did not know that there was even a Jackson 5 biopic. I feel like I should have known that. Josh says, Ballerina sounds awesome. Hopefully we get more John Wick spin-offs in the future. I hope we get more John Wick spin-offs too. We'll see if this actually does well, because the only way we're getting more John Wick spin-offs is if this movie does well. So, fingers crossed. Oh, Alexander says you will never forgive Ana de Armas for Blonde. I haven't even seen Blonde, but everyone who has seen it just says terrible things. She really should not have made that movie, like at all. Tanya also loves Knives Out. Me too. Me too. Moving on. So we're also getting a new Blair Witch movie, which Blumhouse is doing. I feel like you can't really do this movie again. Wasn't the whole reason, like, this movie, the original Blair Witch, was successful was because a lot of people wasn't sure if it was real or not? Obviously, we know now. And I feel like you can't replicate the whole found footage thing because we all know it's fake. I think this movie was a product of its time. Sorry. I think this movie was a product of its time. And I just don't know if they can work now. Because I feel like it'll just be like another Paranormal Activity. Which those movies are fine. But I don't think it's going to have the same cultural cachet as the original. Because it just... You don't have that shock factor of... Oh, no one's ever seen a found footage film before. So, I don't know. It could be good. But I feel like it's just not going to work. Because that original film was very much a product of its era. What do you guys think? Are you looking forward to a new Blair Witch movie? Okay, Ruru says we don't need another one. John Pedro agrees. Yeah, I feel like this is another one of those movies where I'm just like, do we really need another one? I have to agree with you guys. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we need another one. And I just feel like it's it's not the right... This movie, the original Blair Witch, existed in a certain context that just does not exist now. So I just don't think it's going to work, no matter what they do with it. So, that's my opinion on this. Josh Loves Movie says, I don't trust Blumhouse with Blair Witch after The Exorcist. Oh, that's true! The Exorcist sucked! Oh my god, it was so bad. Especially because I actually watched the original Exorcist, like, to prepare for that, just because I had never seen the original Exorcist. And just seeing the original compared to the latest Exorcist movie was like night and day. Compared to, like, something that's genuine cinema and, like, good quality. Compared to something that was so trash and bad. Oh, that was bad. That was a bad movie. So yeah, I think Blumhouse is pretty hit and miss. I like some of their movies, but yeah, definitely not all of them. Yeah, it probably won't be as scary as the original one either. I don't know about this one, to be honest. Moving on. So we also had the Warner Brothers panel. We got a lot of stuff out of here. So they talked about the Minecraft movie. Jack Black says the Minecraft movie will be a new kind of blockbuster. That's very interesting. He says, don't panic, the comedy in the movie will be much better crafted than that. Don't know why he's saying we're panicking. But I did see that there is yet another photo of the trees from the set of this movie. And every picture that we're getting from the set from this thing is getting me more excited, actually, because I think they're actually doing what I was hoping that they're doing, which is that they're making a surreal, blocky world, just like how they did with Barbie, where they made a surreal Barbie world. I think they're making a surreal live-action Minecraft world, and just based on these trees, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Maybe that's what Jack Black means when he says this is a new kind of blockbuster. I have no idea, but honestly, the more I hear about this movie, the more I'm getting excited, the more I'm getting interested. This tree alone has me very excited, not gonna lie. What do you guys think about the Minecraft movie? And are you excited about it like I am? Do these trees excite you like they excite me? Like, the fact that they look like Minecraft trees just blows my mind. Like, what does the whole set look like? I can't wait. I don't know, Folklore Corner. Sorry. Like I said, I'm sick. Desi B says, LOL, I see what he did there. Blockbuster. Oh, yeah, I see what he said there. I didn't even catch that, but you're right. That is a bit of a joke there. I completely missed that. It's giving Wreck-It Ralph. Well, I hope it's better than Wreck-It Ralph, to be honest. I don't really care for that movie that much. But anyway, maybe I'm the only one getting excited by trees. That totally could be me. So they also talked about the Mickey 17 movie, the movie that I've been telling you that I'm really excited for, starring Robert Pattinson and directed by Bong Joon-ho. I'm really excited for this movie, not just because I like Robert Pattinson, but because Bong Joon-ho is probably one of my favorite directors working today. He did Snowpiercer, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. He did Parasite, which won an Oscar. He also did Okja, which I really liked as well. Bong Joon-ho, he's a very unique director. He has a very specific style and taste. His movies are always going to be very weird and avant-garde and out there, which I really like. You never know what to expect with his films. So apparently they showed the first trailer for Mickey 17 at Comic-Con. And it includes Robert Pattinson going on various suicide missions until one of his multiple lives survives. So it's going to be a sci-fi film. You guys know I love sci-fi, so that makes me even more excited. And apparently the whole reason this movie's even called Mickey 17 is because apparently the original, what he's adapting it from is called Mickey 7, but he had to call it Mickey 17 because he killed Robert Pattinson 10 more times. So the film apparently follows a man who works for a corporation that requires him to go on suicide missions and die. So we're going to see Robert Pattinson go on 17 suicide missions and die 17 times. That's interesting, fascinating, totally up my alley. That plot just completely piques my curiosity. That with the director and the cast. Oh yeah, I'm there day one for this movie. I think it sounds so interesting. Apparently Robert Pattinson said that Mickey 17 is the most original and bizarre script for a sci-fi movie where his character Mickey has no expectations of his life. I mean, if you think you're gonna die every freaking second, then yeah, you have no expectations for your life. So that's interesting. Everything about this movie is just making me more excited for it. Are you guys excited for this movie like I am, or do you not care? Josh is excited, so that's great. What? Alexander, Snowpiercer is not a horrible movie. It's one of Bong Joon-ho's best. It's one of his best, not his worst. It's definitely an interesting concept, I agree. Riaru says there are so many books or games that can be adapted versus sequels, and overdone expanded universes. That's true. I'm glad that they're adapting something that maybe hasn't been adapted before or touched on, so it's going to be completely fresh for a new audience. That also makes me excited. Just everything on it checks my box. It's got Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson, sci-fi. The concept is interesting. All I need is a trailer, and I'm probably like beyond hooked at this point. So I'm really excited for this movie. Yeah. Okay, so you liked Parasite and Okja, but you didn't like Snowpiercer? To me, Okja is his worst movie. I thought that was, to me, Okja was my least favorite of his movies so far. So we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that one. You'll see it on streaming, Madonna. No! Come on, guys. Nate thinks it sounds interesting, so that's good. Maybe I've convinced a few of you to see this movie. Maybe just a few. Alright, moving on. So then we also got Paramount's panel. Paramount, apparently dropped a lot of stuff, so we have a lot to cover here. So they also dropped teasers for Sonic 3 and Transformers 1. Sonic 3, apparently they showed Knuckles facing off against Shadow, as well as Sonic and Shadow fighting in the sky on Shadow's motorbike. I'm not into Sonic. I played the game a little bit as a kid, I did, but I've never seen the movies, so I don't know if that sounds exciting or not, but I think these movies are popular enough that they're probably going to do really well. So for Sonic fans, there's a nice description for you. And then for Transformers, they officially confirmed that there's going to be a Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover movie, which I feel like was inevitable. If you watch the last Transformers movie, they did tease a crossover at the very end. I just feel like this is so desperate to save both franchises because the Transformers movies have been dying off. The G.I. Joe movies have never really been able to take off. So I feel like this is Paramount's very desperate attempt at saving both brands. I'm not here for this. I think this is very cheesy and corny. This is not as bad as if Marvel and DC had a crossover. I still feel like that would be a lot more desperate. But this still feels pretty desperate to me. I'm not into this. What do you guys think about this? Are you here for this crossover, or you're like me and you think this is very forced and desperate? Okay, Anise really likes the Sonic movies, so I'm glad you're happy. Folklore Corner says, weren't they working on the Sonic movie during the strikes? Well, they could work on them as long as they didn't have actors working on them or writers. So that's fine. Danny is giving them tomato. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. Dane C says the first G.I. Joe movie was good, then went downhill. Are there any good G.I. Joe movies? Are there? Josh Loves Movies says, so excited for the Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover. There's somebody who's excited. I'm glad you're excited. I think this is dumb. That's my opinion, though. Susanna says these movies need to end. Okay, Natania's also throwing tomatoes. Alright. Shavario thinks it's going to flop. It could flop. I mean, the last Transformers movie didn't do too well, so it totally could flop. That'd be very embarrassing, though. They combined both of these brands and it still flopped. That'd be, I'd probably kill both franchises, at least for a little bit. So now that I think about it, maybe I do want this to flop. Just so they'll stop with the Transformers movies for a second. Because they are really milking that franchise dry. Alexander says all G.I. Joe movies are terrible. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, to be honest. But anyway, moving on. They also showed the first teaser for Gladiator 2. Apparently it revealed Paul Mescal's journey to become a gladiator, including facing off against a rhino. Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal then face off, both very bloodied. I'm very excited for Gladiator 2. I think that this is one of those movies that could be a surprise, massive hit at the end of the year. I think not a lot of people are really talking about it right now, but I think once the marketing starts going and like the trailer, we get the trailer, I have a feeling this movie could really blow up and be huge. Not just because Pedro Pascal's in it, people like him, but because I think a big, epic blockbuster like this is what people are really going to the theaters to see nowadays. People don't want to go to the theater to see something very small scale. They want to see something like Dune. That's very big and grand, and I feel like Gladiator 2 could be big and grand. So I think it makes it more theater-worthy than a lot of movies, so that's why I think this movie could actually do very, very well. But what do you guys think? Are you still excited for Gladiator 2, or do you not care about this movie? SR didn't know about it, yeah. Like I said, they haven't really talked about this movie that much or promoted it much, but I feel like once the promotion gets going, I think more people will be interested. Should we really say rest in peace? Sorry. Alexander Padilla says, I love Pedro Pascal, but he's overexposed. Yeah, he is everywhere, man. I love him too, but he is everywhere. He's also going to be in Fantastic Four. So yeah, that is, we're seeing a lot of him. And obviously season 2 of The Last of Us. And the Mando movie. So he's very busy. He's got a lot of movies on his plate. Okay, SR is not excited. Alright. Jenny says, I hope they're not scared to lean into the blood and gore. Yeah, I mean, I kind of hope that they do. That'd be kind of fun, personally. Gore doesn't bother me, so we'll see if it's rated R. I have no idea. Red Banana Green says every movie is like, we have Pedro. He's not a draw. I think he could be a draw. I think people do like him. They're not against him. Is he a draw in theaters? We don't really know yet, I don't think, but people do like him, I think. But anyway, moving on to the next topic. Hello? Okay. Oh yeah, we also got some Avatar news, which makes me really happy. So, you guys know we just got the Netflix Avatar series, but we're also getting a cartoon animated Avatar movie made by the original creators who left the Netflix series. And this new animated movie is going to be called Aang, The Last Airbender. So I am super excited for this. It's going to follow all the original characters as adults. Apparently they have a new voice actor for Aang. It's going to be played by Eric Nam. I don't know who that is, but it makes sense that they have to get older adults to play these characters now. Also, they have Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista will voice the villain. So Dave Bautista's really getting a lot of work. I feel like out of all the wrestlers turned actors, he's the one that's doing it the best right now. Makes me very curious to see who the villain's going to be, because I feel like Dave Bautista is a very specific actor, which means that this character is probably going to be a very specific kind of character. But still, it could be interesting. I'm very curious to know if Dave Bautista's even a fan of Avatar, if like he watched the original show and that's why he wanted to be in this. But I do like Dave Bautista, but I feel like it's a little random, but I mean, I'm not against it, it's fine. What do you guys think about Dave Bautista joining Avatar? I feel like this is kind of a little bit random, but it could work. Oh, Mauricio, you think it's overrated? No! I love this series. Watch the original series, not the Netflix series, not the god-awful movie. The original animated series. It is fantastic. It is not overrated. It's highly rated. Okay, Edgeman needs a trailer. Alright. Thank you, SR. Joe Pedro says it's cool they ended up making their own thing in the end. I'm glad that we're getting multiple versions, because I honestly bet this one's probably going to be a lot better than the Netflix series. Oh, Drax's daddy. Is this the second person you've called daddy in this stream, Daddy? I feel like you're very horny today. Dame C says The Rock is way past any other wrestler turned actor by far. I mean, yes, it's as far as popularity, yes. The Rock is definitely a lot more popular than Dave Bautista. But as far as talent, I feel like Dave Bautista is a better actor, I'm not gonna lie. Riru says, I love this show, but I fear they will ruin it. Will all the original writers be present? I mean, the original creators are behind it, so that's what gives me hope. I don't know if all of the original writers, but at least the original creators are behind it. Anyway, I'm still very excited for this. This gives me a lot of hope, so that's great. Also, this is very interesting and weird, but I'm kind of into it. So Kendrick Lamar and South Park are making a musical that's actually going to go to theaters. Interesting. The film follows a young black man interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum who discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Interesting. Here's why I'm excited for this movie. Any Broadway fans in the audience know Book of Mormon? I love Book of Mormon so much. I know every song on the Book of Mormon soundtrack by heart. I don't care. I know. Okay. I'm sorry if you're very religious, because if you are very religious, you probably take offense to Book of Mormon, but it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so offensive, but it's so funny. And I brought up Book of Mormon because the creators of South Park are behind Book of Mormon. So they've already created a very successful musical before. So I know they can make good music. I know they can do something really funny and poignant. So the fact that Kendrick Lamar is helping them with the music too, I'm really excited for this. I think this could be really entertaining and funny. Probably highly offensive, but in all the right ways. If it's anything like Book of Mormon, I'm all here for it. Who is a Book of Mormon fan? Who's a heathen like me? If you have no idea what Book of Mormon is, just look up the song Hasadiga Ibawai and thank me later. Okay, Cowboy fan is also excited. That's great. This plot is very insane, right? Right? Miss Player says, this movie sounds kind of woke, but I hope it's still good. Well, it's not going to be woke because it's made by the South Park creators. They know how to thread the needle very well, so I'm not worried about that. Oh, thank you, Shelly Lee. Hello, my name is Jesus Christ. And somebody in the chat knows Book of Mormon. Thank you. Yeah, tired of slave plays. That's true. It seems like you guys are not aware of Book of Mormon. You guys gotta listen to that soundtrack. It's so good. But anyway, I'm very excited for it. I had no idea this existed until today, so I'm here for it. This looks good to me. So, we're also getting a Scary Movie reboot? Interesting. I mean, I'm not surprised by this. They're rebooting a lot of old horror films now. I thought Scream was just a matter... I mean, not Scream. I thought Scary Movie was just a matter of time before they decided to go back to this, too. I think Scary Movie in a modern day could be really fun. I don't know who they're going to cast. But I think there's a lot that they could make fun of about today's modern horror movies for sure. But what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to a Scary Movie reboot? Or do you think this is another franchise that just does not need a reboot? Sorry. Oh god, sorry. I told you guys I'm sick. Do you guys think that this is not something that needs a reboot? Or do you think that... I mean, I do think it's interesting that they're not saying it's just a sequel or a continuation like they were doing with the Scream movies. This is like a full reboot. Are you guys here for this, or do you think that this is dumb? What do you think? Awesome 9 knows what I'm talking about. Josh Loves Movie says Megan needs to show up in this Scary Movie. Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, they could have so many funny cameos in this. I mean, this could really work, I think. Riru's not happy. Du Bois not happy. Oh, Sydney Sweeney could be in this. I feel like they could fill this movie with a bunch of really hot young actors, and this could do very well, actually. I think this could be a big hit. I have no idea if I have COVID or not. I hope not. I haven't tested myself. I'm just hoping it's a cold. Miss Player says, speaking of Scary Movie, I regret watching Scary Movie 5 on theater. This is one of my biggest regrets alongside Minions and Beauty and the Beast remake. Oh, you hated it that much? Oh, I'm sorry. The Beauty and the Beast remake, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but I didn't want to walk out of it. it seems like you guys are very mixed on this one. That's interesting. I still think it'll do very well, though. I think it's popular enough that it'll do well, so looking forward to this one. Now we're also getting a live action. Keywords here, live action. R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? I'm sorry, but out of all of the news that we talked about here today, I think this one is the dumbest. I think this one is the dumbest! What is this? A live action, R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. This doesn't need to be live action. I can't even imagine what a live action Ninja Turtle looks like. That sounds like nightmare fuel. What in the world? Why would they make this live action, and why would they make this R-rated? This is supposed to be something that's like for families, for kids. Why are they making an R-rated live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie? That is like so dumb to me. I can't wrap my head around it. Like, it sounds like a joke. Like, this should have been discussing film, not discussing film, but no, it's real. It's actually real. Are you guys thinking this is interesting? I mean, can you imagine what a live-action turtle would look like? That just sounds terrifying. Who wants that? I mean, what in the world? Does anyone else want this movie? I think this sounds like, out of all the things we talked about today, this one's by far the stupidest. Like, what in the world? CD Wood says The Last Ronin is a very popular comic run that's dark and grim, so I think it'll do well with nerds, though it should have been animated. You know what? They could do something dark and serious if they really wanted to try something different, but why make it live action? That's just gonna make it more terrifying. You mean I'm gonna have to watch a live action a live action turtle do ninja tricks? Like, what? I don't want to see that. Make it animated. I don't know, man. This is just very silly to me. I can't wrap my head around this one. Is anyone else like, oh yeah, I want to see a live action Ninja Turtle? Does anyone want that? John Pedro says, I think it's one of those things where they're thinking of the people who liked the franchise when they were kids. Yes, I know. I get that. I still think they want something animated. Because the last TMNT movie actually did kind of decently, and the adults went to go see that one. So you can make something for everyone that isn't stupid. Sorry, I just think this is a really bad idea. Wait, they have before. Oh wait, they have before. That's right. I forgot they did a live action Ninja Turtles movie, and I thought those looked really uncanny. Not gonna lie. Now that I'm thinking about it, they looked really weird. I still think this is a dumb move, to be honest. I'm not here for it. I think this is very weird. I think this will probably flop, but I'm not in the target audience, so who knows? Maybe there's a whole bunch of TMNT fans that will just eat this up. I have no idea. But I am squarely not in the target audience here. Oh, Danny! That's cold. Danny, that's cold. You'd rather see Mufasa? Oh, that's like more damning than anything I could have ever said. You'd rather see Mufasa? Oh, that's awful. Du Bois says, this feels very Cats to me. Not Cats. You guys are comparing it to Mufasa and Cats. Oh my god. That's awful. You guys are savage. Like, super savage. But anyway, moving on. So then we got the Universal panel. So this is what Universal dropped. So they dropped over 5 minutes of footage for Wicked, which was just apparently a lot of people who have seen it so that it's amazing, that it looks like it could be the movie of the year. They showed a bit of Ariana Grande singing Popular, and of course Defying Gravity. I was surprised they didn't show more of those songs in the original trailer, just because they are so popular that I feel like even people who aren't familiar with the Broadway show have at least heard of these songs. So I hope that in the next trailer, they actually do play these songs more because they're so iconic. But it gives me a lot of hope that a lot of the reviews for the trailer that from people who actually did get to see it are very, very positive. So that gives me a lot of hope for this movie. I'm still very excited for it. I think Wicked could be one of the biggest movies of the year, if not possibly the biggest. I mean, there's a lot of competition. I don't know about that. But I definitely think it could be in the top 5 for sure. what do you guys think about Wicked? Are you still very excited for it? Just very quickly, because there's not really a whole lot of extra news about Wicked. Although we do know Michelle Yeoh will be singing in it. So that's nice. I don't think I've heard Michelle Yeoh sing before, so that'll be something new. But what do you guys think about Wicked? Alexander Padilla, see, exactly. You said you've never seen the play, but you've heard the songs. I'm sure that's a lot of people, because the soundtrack is so popular. See what I did? Oh, Red Banana Green, you don't know what Wicked is? So it's the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West. So if you've seen, like, the original, what's it called? Over the Rainbow. Why am I drawing so many blanks today? Wizard of Oz. If you've seen the original Wizard of Oz, Wicked is supposed to be the prequel to the Wizard of Oz, showing how the Wicked Witch of the West became the Wicked Witch, and how Glinda, the Good Witch, became Glinda, the Good Witch. And it starts off with focusing on both Glinda and Elphaba in college together, and how they meet, and then how their paths diverge based on events that happen. I won't spoil anything, but that's a very quick rundown on what Wicked's about. It has very good music, and of course the nostalgia, I think, will help a lot too. I think Wicked's going to be very massive too, Josh. I have a good feeling about it. John Pedro says, I hadn't heard of Wicked before you talked about it. I think it's not popular over here. You know what? I have no idea how popular it is outside of the United States. That's true. I'm just basing it off of what I know from my experience as a theater kid growing up in the U.S. This musical is very popular amongst at least that demographic. So anyway, I'm still very excited for it. I think it's going to be interesting. I do hope that they share more of the plot in the next trailer too, for people who don't know it, like you, Banana Green. Just because I don't think the trailer really explained enough of what the story is about. So I hope the next trailer clarifies a lot of things, including adding more music. So that's the only thing that I would hope for the next trailer. Moving on. Sorry. Oh my god. Almost done. So, they also talked about Twisters, and they admitted that they actually got footage from real storm chasers to use in Twisters. I included this just because, again, I think it's another interesting tidbit to note that a lot of these studios are moving away from using CGI. The fact that they got real footage of storm chasers chasing Twisters to use as part of their visual effects, I think is very promising. I'm still very excited for this movie. I'm looking forward to it. Everything I hear about Twisters is actually making me more excited, especially now knowing that we're going to be looking at real Twisters and not just CGI Twisters. So that makes me very excited. Something else we also heard from the Universal panel is that Pharrell Williams will return to work on a song for Despicable Me 4. Of course, he sang Happy. He made that Happy song in the 2014 Despicable Me movie, and I feel like I heard that song umpteen million times for like the next 5 years. I swear the radio would not stop playing that song for like 5 years straight. I did my first Disney college program in 2017, which was 3 years after that song came out, and I heard that song every freaking where I went in Orlando. Like, I could not escape this song. This song got on my nerves so much that I grew to hate it because that song was so massive. So the fact that they're bringing him back, maybe he can strike lightning again and he could get another Happy out of it. I don't know. But man, if he does, God help every retail worker out there because they overplayed that song to death. But what do you guys think about this? Are you excited about this? Are you excited that Pharrell's coming back with a new song? Or are you like me and you're like, oh my god, the retail workers, I'll pray for you. Because that's kind of how I'm feeling. Natanya says, man, I hate that song. I didn't hate it at first, but man, did I grow to hate it. Oh, I hated it after a while. Okay, Alexander also hates that song. Yeah. Madonna's tired of it. Yeah. Du Bois says, let's be honest, is it really Despicable Me if it doesn't have Pharrell music? I mean, he's not in every song. I mean, every movie. So, I don't know. I just hope that if he makes another song as popular as Happy, that I don't have to hear it everywhere I go like I did before, because I swear it was like I could not escape that song. It was insane. But anyway, Mauricio, you want an Ellen DeGeneres biopic? You know what? That would actually be interesting. Like the real life of Ellen DeGeneres. Like, not the nice lady you thought she was, but like the mean lady she really was. That'd be interesting. They'll never make that movie, but that would be interesting. But anyway, moving on. So they also talked a bit about the Wild Robot. I didn't talk about the trailer when it dropped, but I do think the trailer looks very beautiful. It's an animated DreamWorks film that talks about a robot that is sentient and he has to go out into the wildlife and survive. I think it looks very beautiful. Apparently the visuals are inspired by old Disney classics and Miyazaki, and I feel like just by looking at it you can tell. I'm very, very much looking forward to this Good Robot, I think it's called, or Wild Robot. I didn't show you the trailer when it dropped, but I'm telling you guys about it now just because I know a lot of you like animation, and this looks like probably outside of Inside Out 2, this is probably my most anticipated animated movie coming out this year, just because I think it looks gorgeous. It's sci-fi, so you guys know I like it. So I'm just happy that they're drawing inspiration from old Disney classics and not the new ones, because I feel like I just have a really good feeling about this movie. I have a feeling this movie is going to be really, really good. What do you guys think about this? Have you heard of the Wild Robot? Are you planning to see it? Yes or no? CD Wood says, I'll be going to theaters for this one for sure. Yeah, I know. It looks good to me. Ryu says that looks very similar to the robots in the castle in the sky. I'm not sure about that one. Miss Player says, well, DreamWorks is finally having their WALL-E equivalent. I don't know about WALL-E. I mean, WALL-E is a high bar to reach. WALL-E is literally in my top 3 favorite films of all time. Not animated, not Disney, just general. Like, I love WALL-E. It's probably my 3rd favorite film of all time. So I don't know if it can be that good. If this movie can be as good as WALL-E, it'll probably be my favorite movie of the year. So that's a high bar for me. But it does kind of give me WALL-E vibes, I won't lie. Oh, Abel Connor says you're not into these films with no dialogue. That's fair, that's fair. I definitely feel like it's going to be one of those quiet movies for sure. Yeah, it's giving Iron Giant, which I think is why I'm getting really excited for this movie. Alexander's going to be streaming, of course. Nate's excited, though, so I'm glad that it looks like at least a number of you are excited, because I think this looks really good. Anyway, moving on. So then, the Disney panel is actually happening right now. So I'm probably going to refresh the Discussing Film page just to see if there's anything that they dropped that I haven't known. There's a few things that dropped right before I went live. So, firstly, they did have a new video of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman talking about Secret Wars. Apparently it was just a skit about not being interrupted by phones and silencing your cell phones. So just a little skit, not a trailer or anything. We got apparently they got first footage from Captain America Brave New World. So apparently that movie must be coming along if they have enough footage to show, which that's nice. And they showed 13 minutes of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I'm curious to see how people are responding to that, because I think the trailer looks really, really good. Now, let's see what has happened, because literally the panel was happening as we were talking. So, is there anything else new? It says that they had 2 clips of Alien Romulus that were shown. Okay. Including practical face huggers and a chest buster causing a bloody spaceship crash. Interesting. So they're keeping the chest buster. I feel like that's maybe redoing the iconic scene instead of doing something new, but I don't know, maybe it'll be good. Deadpool has been chosen to save the secret timeline from a potential looming threat, according to the TVA's Agent Paradox. Does this mean loads of gratuitous cameos? I think they're talking a bit about Deadpool. Again, I'm reading this live like you guys are now. I have no idea what the news is here. I just know that this literally is all happening live. So apparently, Deadpool has been chosen to save the sacred timeline. I guess that's why he calls himself Marvel Jesus in the trailer. I guess the whole movie must be about Deadpool having to save the Marvel universe, save the sacred timeline because the timeline's so out of order. That's what it's starting to sound like this movie is about, and why the TVA might be so involved. That does sound interesting, to me at least. I just hope that it's not only full of gratuitous cameos. That is my one big concern for this, is that I just feel like it could be an opportunity to introduce a bunch of cameos, and I feel like I just want this movie to be more than that. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. Prototype says they're going to give us the stupid scientists from Covenant and Prometheus. I have no idea what they're going to do with this movie. Honestly, I'm not really into the Alien franchise, so I can't really say much on it, to be honest. Prototype says, like, Loki was chosen to save the sacred timeline. You know what? That's a good point. That is a good point, because isn't Loki's entire job currently to just protect the sacred timeline? You know what? I'm sure they made this script before they even saw Loki Season 2, and we know now, unfortunately, that a lot of the people behind the scenes do not communicate at Marvel, so they don't always know what's going on in other projects. So, honestly, he probably just didn't even know that's what was going on in Season 2. But yeah, it does seem like they're both kind of doing the same thing, doesn't it? I hope they explain how it's different. It says the Deadpool and Wolverine footage from CineCon includes Wade retired from Deadpool and single, and then it cuts to his birthday party where he speaks with Blind Al. He says, hey, cocaine is one thing Feige said is off limits. Interesting. It seems like they're definitely going to have a lot of edgy jokes in this. I mean, it is rated R, so it's going to be very interesting to have Marvel's first rated R movie, how audiences are going to react to that. Very interesting. I guess Blind Al is doing cocaine. I don't know. So they showed 9 minutes of footage. That's actually quite a lot. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of reactions about the footage and what is being shown and what people thought. So, curious to see what people think. Kevin Feige says Deadpool and Wolverine is effing awesome. And he can say that because it's rated R. So that's nice. So Kevin Feige is there. I think this is the first event Kevin Feige has actually been a part of for a while, because he didn't get to do Comic-Con last year. So that's nice. That's nice. Oh god. So we have a little bit of Harrison Ford on Thunderbolt Ross. Oh, did they bring out Harrison Ford? It says, so the first clip of Captain America Brave New World shows Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross wanting to restart the Avengers, but disagreeing with Sam Wilson. Oh, interesting. So Harrison Ford wants to restart the Avengers, but Sam doesn't? Is that what Captain America is about? Very interesting. I'm so curious to see how well this movie does. It's not, it's not Chris Evans. It's the MCU's in a very different place. I have no idea how well this movie's going to do. I think this one's a wild card, to be honest. What do you guys think about the Captain America Brave New World movie? Are you guys excited for it? How do you think it's going to do? I know, I wish I could go to CinemaCon. I really wish I could go. It's really mainly just for, like, the press, though. Connor says, I don't know how Joker Folie à Deux is going to work, because the teaser trailer looks good, but I don't know how Lady Gaga's performance is going to work. I think she's going to be fine, Connor. I'm really confident in Lady Gaga's acting. Anyway, let's see. Kevin Feige says Fantastic Four will be filmed in IMAX theaters. I mean, or with IMAX theaters in mind, that's not really surprising. Kevin Feige says there will be a Deadpool and Wolverine bucket designed by Deadpool. Oh my gosh! There's going to be a popcorn bucket designed by Deadpool. Oh, the jokes. I can only imagine what the heck that popcorn bucket's going to look like. The jokes write themselves. I mean, look at the Dune popcorn bucket. Can you imagine what the Deadpool popcorn bucket's going to be? Oh, that's actually hilarious. That's actually really hilarious. I cannot wait. That's so funny to me. So Kevin Feige says that Thunderbolts with the Star is the official title with the asterisk. He says they won't talk about the asterisk until after release. Interesting. So the actual official title has an asterisk in it? I feel like that's a bit... I mean, maybe it'll make more sense once we see the movie, but I don't know about that. I can already tell you from a metadata standpoint, that's not going to work. So, I don't know about this title. I think it's just cleaner without the asterisk, but maybe it'll make more sense once we actually see the movie. Oh, Josh really wants the Deadpool and Wolverine bucket. Oh, you know it's going to be perverted. Oh, you just know it. Prototype says it's going to be the butthole to make fun of the Dune popcorn bucket, calling it right now. Oh my gosh, what if it is his butthole? He would do something like that. Ryan Reynolds would do something that crazy. What if it's literally just his, like, Deadpool's butthole or something? I don't know. I feel like the popcorn bucket is going to be insane, whatever it is. So Kevin Feige's arrived. He says we make movies for movie theaters, making them an event. That's where they belong. I mean, that's true. Marvel movies belong in theaters. I can't argue against that. Oh, they showed Inside Out footage. That's nice. It says there will be a 2D animated character and an old school video game character. So they're mixing animation styles. That's interesting. I'm still very excited for Inside Out too, so the fact that they're mixing animation styles makes me even more excited. So that's good. No idea. Oh, this is Daisy Ridley's movie? And I probably won't see this. Sorry. Oh my god, they showed the first 35 minutes of Inside Out 2? 35 minutes? That's a long time. Oh my gosh, I hope they liked it. But anyway, I think I caught up everything. I'm glad I did this though, because this is huge news. I can't wait to see that popcorn bucket, man. I can't wait to see it. But anyway, that is the news for today. Let me just refresh it. Is there anything else? Barry Jenkins says Mufasa the Lion King will have all new songs, but can't say who's developing them. You mean it's a musical too? Oh, no. I mean, I'm saying oh no, and I love musicals. I'm sorry, but you guys know how I feel about the original live-action Lion King and how I feel about Mufasa. And the fact that it's also a musical, when it looks so janky. I mean, they still use this photo here where it looks like his shoulder is, like, not even in his socket or whatever. Like, what is going on there? Oh, my gosh. And now we have songs, too. We have to hear these things sing. Oh no. This just made me... And I love musicals, but this just made me less excited. I do not want to see these CGI puppets sing. That just does not sound interesting to me. I'm sorry. So this is a no for me. I'm already a no from this movie, but this is an extra no now. Yeah. Anyone else interested? Barry Jenkins says a lot of the same production team from Moonlight worked on Mufasa. Oh! I mean, it doesn't show in the pictures, though. Maybe the trailer will change my mind. I don't know. Because I thought Moonlight was actually fantastic. I thought Moonlight was a really good movie, and it deserved to win over La La Land, in my opinion. So the fact that majority of the same team is working on Mufasa, that is good. That does give me hope, but Moonlight is a very different movie from Mufasa. Moonlight is like a small, contained indie film, while Mufasa is a big blockbuster with a lot of CGI. So even though it's the same production team, it doesn't mean they know how to make the same movie, because they're wildly different movies. You know what I mean? So even though it's nice that it's the same team from Moonlight, it doesn't mean they know how to make a blockbuster, because Moonlight was not a blockbuster. But it does give me a little bit of hope. Just a little bit. La La Land reboot? Oh no, please don't. Please don't. Anyway, any other thing? I'm glad that I just refreshed it here. This has to be the last thing. I'm pretty sure this is the last thing they're talking about. So anyway, I do have WTF news real quick. And it's that Spike Lee just cast Ice Spice in his next movie, starring Denzel Washington. Why is Ice Spice in the same movie as Denzel Washington? I need Hollywood to stop treating Ice Spice like she has real talent. I thought we all enjoyed her ironically. Like, what is with this, like, she's getting actual roles? I'm so sorry. I thought Ice Spice was a joke. I thought we were all, like, laughing. Not, like, taking her seriously. What is happening here? I'm sorry if there's any Ice Spice fans in the chat. But, like, I'm sorry. I think this is crazy. I feel like this girl has been given so many opportunities she's frankly not deserved. But that is my opinion. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea why she's all over the place, SR. She is an industry plant. There's no other explanation. Have you heard her try to rap? Have you heard her try to perform? I just don't understand it. What is going on? Ice Spice is not getting an Oscar, Alexander. I will not allow it. I just can't. I just can't. It's for the clout? Maybe. I don't know. But, like, the industry taking her seriously is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. But anyway, that's my WTF news. That's actually it for today. Let me refresh this to see if we have any other news. I like how we're getting live news literally as we're talking. Oh, it says that they showed a teaser for Mufasa. And it said that they used similar visual effects to the 2019 film. Alright, I mean, they're probably not going to show us the teaser just yet, but I am very curious to see that teaser. Just because maybe the teaser will change my mind. I have no idea, but right now I'm like firmly anti-Mufasa. I don't care. I'll be a toxic hater about it. I don't care. I hate the whole concept of that movie. It bothers me. Anyway. Not Annie. Not you guys calling her little Annie. Oh my god. Y'all are so funny. I have no idea, Nate. I have no idea. No idea. Anyway, that's my show for today. Thank you all for coming to my live stream. I will have another show on Sunday as usual. I think I'm reviewing Civil War. I believe that's the movie I'm reviewing for Sunday. So make sure you're here 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have no idea what to expect from Civil War. I've heard that it's going to give you a lot of emotions one way or the other, so I'm very curious about it. So I'll see you guys on Sunday. Thank you all for coming to my